All right, people, welcome to today's session. And today we are looking at this is, according to the book, day 19 of our coaching session as we prepare for the new season, for the new year. And day 19 morning, the key point states that your attitude controls your life. But the good news is you can control your attitude, especially when you have the wrong attitude or negative attitude. Your attitude determines the state of the state of the world you live in, because it is through your attitude that you create your life. It is through your attitude that you create your world. So the wrong attitude will automatically produce the wrong environment or the wrong world around you. So have a positive, joyful attitude. And when you have a positive, joyful attitude, you will have a positive, joyful result. Now, in this area, I want to take a deep dive mini masterclass on negative attitudes, to be like focus on negative attitude and some approaches, some protocols, some strategies that you can re-engineer the negative attitude that you have and begin to build the attitude that you need to succeed. Somebody said that your attitude determines your altitude in life. The type of attitude that you have will determine how far you can rise in life. And that is the fact. You see, so it is very important that one of the most important things that you can achieve in life is to achieve the development of the right attitude. So many people are struggling in life because they have the wrong attitude. And when you have the wrong attitude, it negatively affects how far you can go in life. Examples of wrong attitude could include maybe you're always agitating, you're always you're full of bitterness, you're full of negative assumptions, you're full of you're full of carelessness, you're so careless. You're careless with your money, careless with your house, careless with things around you. You are complacent, you're a coward, you behave like a coward, you are condescending, you are deceptive. Yes, you are deceptive, you are destructive, you are so disagreeable, you are so disengaged. For example, when you find yourself among people, you're always disengaged. For example, like I'm telling people, if you are doing excellent, write excellent. If you are doing not so good, write not so good. Only if people write, others did not write. You are disengaged, and it's an attitude. And you can find yourself in a more important environment of great people, and great people cannot notice you and do business with you because you have this negative attitude of being disengaged. See, the attitude of being disengaged is not good for professionals and entrepreneurs. When you are engaged, people can notice you. And when people notice you, they notice your strength, your skills, and your gifting. And because they have noticed you that way, they can work with you. So being disengaged in the midst of people like this is a negative attitude. Maybe you don't know. Because that's the only people who will notice you. All right. Another example is you are dishonest. They cannot trust you with money and whatever. You are disrespectful. You are greedy. You are impatient. You are impolite. You are impractical. These are so many examples of negative attitude. You are insecure. You are lazy. You are irresponsible. You you neglect important things. You are very passive, and all of you're a pessimist. I'm trying to think of all of these, examples of negative attitude that when you have this attitude, they will destroy your life. They will destroy your life. And I am sure as I was listing some of this attitude, you could see yourself among some of them. And there are many I have not listed. But what is that thing that you are practicing? What is that attitude? What is that habit that you're practicing consistently that you know that it will not contribute to your success? Okay? So how can you improve your attitude? How can you improve your attitude? Now, there are 5 E's. There are 5 E's to improve attitude, like letter E. 5 E's. If you want to improve your attitude from today, you need to follow the protocol of 5 E's. 5 E's. The first E stands for education. The first E stands for education. If you want to change your attitude, you need to educate yourself. Like right now, you are in this Zoom session, you are following this coaching session right now because you want to educate yourself. Education changes attitude. Like, for example, I was talking about the negative attitude of being disengaged. There are many of you that you go to seminars, workshops, you're in the midst of great people, you sideline yourself, you are not engaged. Nobody knows that you are there. You are like one native doctor. You are non-existent. Like, there are many of you come to this coaching session and give activities from the beginning to the end. You participate in none of them. That is the negative attitude of being disengaged. Now, like I'm giving this example now, I am educating you. And if you decide to listen and start changing, you have been educated. And the attitude of being disengaged has been changed to the attitude of being engaged wherever you find yourself. Understood? The second E is experience. Yes, experiences contribute to the change of attitude. There are certain things that you do just so that it can challenge your attitude. It can cause a repentance in your attitude. There are certain places that you can go so that, there are certain attitude in you that until you experience something before they change. There are positive experiences and there are consequential experiences. For example, let's say a thief, and then you stole something and you were arrested or you were caught by the mob and you were almost beaten and maybe set on fire. That experience can cause many people to change the attitude of stealing. You understand? But there's also that's what is called negative consequential experience. But there is a positive experience. Like, for example, what I like to push many of my mentees to go through as I work with them one-on-one. Like, there are some mentors have challenged them. You need to enter a local plane, enter a local airline, enter a plane from your city to the next city. Get the experience of entering a plane. You see, there are some that I challenge them and go and attend events, go and eat dinner, go and eat lunch in a 5-star hotel, in an expensive restaurant. The things you see, how you will be served, the wealth, the things your eyes will see will challenge you. Experiences are very powerful in changing attitudes. Some are travel experiences. There are certain things that when you go and see in other countries, like South Africa, Dubai, United States, Germany, UK, wherever, they challenge to become better. The third E, when it comes to improving your attitude, is the environment. Yes. If you want to improve your environment, your attitude starts by improving your environment. Improve the places you go. Improve the house where you stay. You can change your quarter just because that change will affect your attitude. Yes, you can change where you live. You can change your community so that you can change your attitude. You can change the friends you have around you so you can change your attitude. Next is empathy. The fourth E to improve your attitude is empathy. Is empathy. Now, empathy means you can put yourself in the shoe of somebody and try to feel how the person feels. When you try to understand what the person is going through, it can change your attitude. Let's say, for example, let's say that you're a greedy person. I'm not saying anybody's greedy here, but let's say that you're a greedy person. You don't like to help people. You're just so greedy and so selfish. That's a negative attitude. But somebody now comes and begs for money and say, please, my mother is in the hospital. All I need now is just 10,000 francs to get her medication. Now, because you have a mother and because of how much you love your mother, you can put yourself in the shoe of that person and decide to give the person money. Your empathy, you empathize with the person, and your empathy can now challenge you to help that person. So empathy can change attitudes. And this is why, thieves and blackmailers and 419ers, And all these cunning guys use empathy. And the last E is ethics. The last E is ethics. Ethics are, you can set certain ethics that you live by, and they can change your attitude. What are your daily lifestyle ethics? Like, for example, I'll give you my example. One of my examples of my ethics is I always discipline myself, and by the help of God, I always discipline myself, say, I would never do anything that is against the law of the land, is against my personal living principles, and is against the will of God. This is one of my major ethics I live by. Anything that will make me go against the law of the land, like for example, laws that can make me to go to court or go to prison, go to the police, I am not there. Me, let that thing go. Let me stay the way I am. I am not interested. Number two, anything that will make me not to be in right standing with God, I am not there. And number three, my personal core values. That's the ethics. So you can decide and establish your code of ethics. As far as you live life, it can change your attitude. For example, let's say you're a cheating wife or a cheating husband, for example. You can now decide, okay, you can decide and set new ethics that as a husband from today, as a wife from today, my personal ethics include so. I will be a husband full of integrity, honesty, and fidelity. And these ethics these ethics are very important to you, and you hold them to the highest esteem. So these are the 5 E's that you can practice and go through to change any negative attitude that you have and start developing the attitude of great men. Now, from all of these 5 E's that I have listed, which of the E's do you think you want to start practicing? Or out of all, which one do you think is important for you to start practicing? So you change that particular attitude. And you may not need to practice all. It all depends on what is the attitude that you're trying to conquer. And let me tell you something. Every serious human being knows their negative attitude that is fighting their success in life. All of us, we know. And as you grow, as you conquer the new attitude, as you conquer old attitude, new ones set in, it's a constant battle. It's a constant battle. What is your own attitude? You may not like to share, but based on the negative attitude that you know that you are still practicing on a daily basis and is negatively influencing your success, which of these E's do you think you will practice from today to conquer that attitude and develop the attitude of champions? I have a book on the attitude of champions, which is very important. Yes, leave me a comment. I'm going to leave me a comment in the chat box. Which of these do you want to start practicing? Which of these? Yes, experience, education, ethics, getting extremely educated. Awesome, good. Now let's proceed. We're still with attitude. Now, a research was carried out at the University of Washington in the United States. And in the university, they have a place in the university called Love Lab, like chemistry lab, Love Lab in the university, right? The purpose of the Love Lab is to do research on human relations, human relationship, love, marriage, and all of that. Okay, so they carried out a research at the University of Washington called the Love Lab. And this research discovered something very interesting, and I felt that we should talk about it. This research discovered that there are 4 attitudes that kill a relationship. And this relationship is primarily talking about a romantic marital relationship. Yes. And of course, I found this important because it can also kill professional relationship. It can also kill casual, like friendship. Okay, so this research carried out by this university in Washington at a place called the Love Lab, they discovered 4 key major attitudes that kill marital relationships. Who is excited to hear about these 4? The first that I saw on this research, I was like, what? Is this what is killing marriages? Let me learn before I go and keep my marriage. Right? Yes, let me learn this thing. So they got that. So what they did that they did proper research, gathered couples and all of that long-term research, and they came out with 4. So those who are married here, after this, please remember to sow seed for marital counseling to the man of God. Amen. Amen. And those who are planning to get married, yes, after this, come and sow seed for marital counseling. So I'm doing double work. Amen. All right, because after this, your relationship must grow in Jesus, man. That marriage that is struggling, it must stand. Oh, yes. I hope that those who are married, they are listening this right now with you and your husband and your wife. If he's sleeping, tap him up right now. Say, oh God, welcome, welcome, welcome. The man of God wants to prophesy. All right, let's dig deep into this. Okay, this is so interesting. So that's why I like. That's why when I saw attitude, I like no. Let me share this with you guys because it's gonna help. But it helped me a lot. Trust me, it helped me a lot. Right now, 4 attitude that kill a relationship. Okay, marriage, romantic relationship. That was the center, but this can also work, of course, in professional relationship. Number one attitude, criticism. Criticizing your partner, criticizing your spouse, criticizing your friend. It kills relationship. This was the number one attitude that was discovered. Criticizing someone's character instead of simply stating the grievance and trying to help. Now, the research discovered that if somebody has the wrong character, and you on the other end, if your immediate response to that character is immediate criticizing, you just criticize the person, oh, you are this, you are so, you just criticize the person so deep. But the research said that the best way to handle this is to state your grievance instead of criticizing. For example, let's say that you just started dating your oga or your madam, or you guys just got married, and you notice a new character that you did not notice during courtship. And then that character manifests the first time, and immediately you just criticize. Let's say he comes home late. He comes home late, very late, at 12 a.m., 1 a.m., and maybe drunk alcohol. You just jump on him. Stupid man, alcoholic, drunk. The research stated that when you do this, it starts creating a gap immediately. Same for the husband. Maybe the first time that your wife prepared food late or something, you just jump on her. Eh? You just do this and all of that. No, the research recommends that attitude of criticizing upfront is wrong and it kills relationship. So the research recommended that you should state a grievance and try to help. So, for example, the husband comes home very late. Don't criticize. Try to help him. Maybe help him change, help him bath, help him eat. Whatever you can do, be the helper. Same for the husband. You come home, and your wife has not cooked food on time, or food is late, or whatever they have done. I'm using food because it's coming to my mind right now, right? Whatever they have done that you are not happy, don't just jump to criticize. Try to help. Let's use food for example. You say, sweetheart, baby, honey, whatever you guys use. You say, is do you need help? How can I assist in the kitchen for us to prepare food quickly and eat so that I can eat? I'm really hungry, right? From there now, you can now state your grievance. And I say, honey, you see, I don't eat outside, and I'm not very okay with me coming back from work and food is not ready. And I like to eat the first thing I get to the house. Or the wife, after you have helped him clean all of that, maybe the next morning, say, husband, oga, master, whatever you call the guy, and I say, please, you came home late last night and I was really worried, and I was not really happy that you came home last night and there was no communication. I did not know whether, I didn't know where to find you. Now that is stating a grievance and helping. In a romantic relationship, is going to bring you more together, no matter, even if the person did it the wrong way, the other person will bridge the gap. But if you discover the wrong character and jump into criticizing, you are killing your relationship and your marriage. Has somebody fallen into this attitude number one? I've explained very well. So stop criticizing first. When you discover a character you are not expecting, what do? Help, then state your grievance. If you help without stating, it's incomplete. If you state your grievance without helping, it's incomplete. Help and do what? And then state your grievance. Okay? I'm sure somebody have done it here. Something happened for the first time, you just jump into it and criticize the person, and that character, that attitude is not good. It can cause somebody to bleed. Okay, good. Number two, attitude number two. Attitude number two, contempt. Contempt. Contempt means disregard for something. Disregard for something that should be taken into account. Or the offense of being disobedient or disrespectful. You see, that's contempt. So, you cannot disregard your wife. You cannot disregard your husband. You cannot disrespect your wife or your husband. That is called contempt. So they discovered that the second attitude that kills relationships and marriages is contempt. And contempt always shows in the face of insult, mostly in marriages and relationships. It shows in the face of insult. For example, a husband will just stand and say, or just say to the wife, your behavior last time was very inappropriate, in a very high tone. That is contempt. Or a husband and a wife, you're talking to somebody and I say, oh, poor thing, you are really very dull. Oh, poor thing, you are very stupid. No, that is contempt. Somebody may not react, but you have planted a seed, and the seed you have planted is that you disregard them and you disrespect them. And somebody says it applies to employees also. Exactly. Criticizing and contempt also apply to employees. As I was saying, these are things that I felt that it works also in the professional setting. Be careful of contempt. Contempt shows in the face of what? Insult. I didn't like the way you behaved last time. It was inappropriate. You behave as if you don't have sense. Hey, somebody you call wife or husband or important to you, it kills the relationship. It starts killing the love. Or say, oh, poor thing. You are really stupid. You are really dumb. You don't even reason. Just do things without thinking. Now, that is contempt. And it kills relationship. So we need to find a better way to communicate. And to do this, kindness and showing love and protection first before you correct is very important. Show love, kindness, and protect your spouse first before you correct. No matter what they have done, don't practice contempt. There are different ways to drive home discipline, but contempt that will show that you have no regard for the person, that you're just looking at the person at one number, you somebody. No, that is how it divides your marriage and your relationship. So when anything happens, like I'm one of those who strongly believe that every husband should protect the wife, in public especially. I'm one of those beliefs, I don't care who you are in my family, do not speak against my wife, not disrespect her. Whatever she has done, if you speak her, even if I see her doing wrong, I will defend her there and there. Then we'll sort it out behind the scenes. Because I need to protect her. I need to respect her. I need to regard her. I strongly believe in that. And the same should apply same for the women. For the woman, don't sit where they're disrespecting your husband. You need to stand up for him, or you walk away from the place, or you just stand in public and you just disregard him anyhow. It pulls the relationship apart. You plant the wrong seed. There was something that happened a couple of years ago with the lady I was dating by then. And I have a policy. When we started dating, I told her that I don't like violence and I don't like shouting. And I promised her that I will never shout at you and I'll never raise my hand against you. That's the first thing I'll tell a lady if I wait for a dating. I will never shout at you and I will never raise my hand against you. And she said, we'll see. And fortunately, till she reminded me when the relationship ended that, wow, I have never dated a man who never shouted at me. Wow, seriously. Then something happened. So I'm just giving the backstory. Something happened and we went somewhere. I don't know what happened. And a gentleman was raising his voice at her. I know she was wrong, but I boldly told the guy, I said, number one, I do not raise my voice at my girl, and nobody is permitted to do that. Was she wrong? Yes, she was wrong. But I need to protect her. I need to regard her, and I need to respect her. When you do that, somebody feels regarded, they feel valuable, they feel respected, and what happens? The bonding grows, the love grows, the support grows, and all of that. So be careful of contempt. Be careful of speaking carelessly. Many people have planted the wrong seed in their hearts of their wives and husbands and relationships and in the workplace because they just speak anyhow. Oh, poor thing. Oh, you talk without thinking. You're really stupid. I didn't think that you are such a coward. Oh, this is somebody you really respect. And you say things like this, that is content. And this attitude kills relationship. Some of you need to repent. Some of you, somebody say, familiarity, that's always say familiarity breeds content. It's our responsibility to, if you truly value somebody, you will never be familiar with that person. That's the truth. You always value the incredible value the person brings. You always value how important that person is. Familiarity only steps in when value drops. As simple as that. You understand? So if you live with somebody for 100 years, it is your responsibility to consistently place value on the person. Immediately you stop regarding that person as a valuable person, you will start being familiar and you will start treating the person as normal. But as long as you keep respecting and honoring the person, honor the wife in your wife, value the virtuous woman in that woman that is in your house. Same for men, for women. Everybody, it is your job to see, find something in a man, in a woman, honor and value. Familiarity will never be there. I don't know how to familiarize myself, like, let's say, with my mentor, with my spiritual father. These are people that, and many other people that I hold them. There's something that I hold them to the highest level, that whatever they do, I just see but that thing. I focus on the honor on your head, on the value that you carry, on the personality that you carry. And familiarity sets in when you begin to capitalize on somebody's mistakes and weaknesses. Be careful. Be careful of that. It's your responsibility. Many marriages are struggling and love die out because people get familiar and they start, mistreating and just casually treating their spouse, all of that. Then the bonding dies, the excitement dies, the love dies. But in the process, if you still recognize the person as, this is that special man, this is that special woman, and all of that, it is very, very important. Okay, very, very important. It's same in the workplace. No matter, be careful. No matter how your boss is simple, you hear me? No matter how your boss is simple, no matter how your boss is simple, please, it's your responsibility to avoid familiarity. Some people can be dangerously humble. It is them. It doesn't give you the, immediately you're familiar, you lose it. Immediately you're familiar, you're gonna lose it. You're gonna miss it out. Okay, same for your husband. Same for your wife. Because your wife is submissive, humble, and your husband is humble and caring and all of that. That is the more reason you should honor him and value him and never be familiar. Your wife is submissive. Just because she's that submissive, that is a lot of value for you to place her at a very high level of honor. It's the same like your mom and your dad. It's the same. There are certain things that till today I never do with my mom. Never. Never. Because there's that value. There is that value. There is, if till today, if my mom says stand, we'll talk, we'll go and talk immediately. That honor must be there. There are some people in your life that you must make sure you never be familiar with them. You will even lose the blessing. Let me tell you a story that a man of God was sharing that I know him very well. The wife was looking for something like an opener, all of that. So the wife used to know, so the wife used to wonder, like, wait, this man of God, I see how God uses him outside to cause miracles and breakthrough. But why am I not enjoying this breakthrough? The wife is praying for something. The husband has never given him a prophecy or, all of that. But there was a day that the Holy Spirit ministered to the wife. The wife looked for a prophetic seed, came and knelt down before the husband in church and said, my pastor, pray for me. Immediately the wife recognized the oil of God over that man's head. The testimony was released. So there are people that is either you see a husband or you see a great man, you see a Lord, you see somebody that is your head in a good way, according to the Bible. It's the same for your wife. If you keep seeing your wife just as a normal woman, you will never enjoy the full blessings of that wife. You understand? So you need to know the difference. You need to know the difference. Okay? And then the third attitude that kills relationship is counterattack. 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 Yes. Somebody, the wife just raises a case, and instead of the husband calming down as a man of wisdom, the man also just counterattack the whole thing. Marriage don't scatter so. Because when a human being is attacked, two things happen. Either there is offense or they run. Two things. When you attack somebody, when you attack a human being, two things happen. Either there is a response in an offensive way, they fight you back, or they run. So imagine a husband coming back from the house, and I want to give an example. Or come back to the house, and then something has happened. Or let's say maybe the wife was cleaning, and the television set fell and broke. And maybe the wife knows how the husband loved the television set. The husband just come and just start shouting, "What happened? Why you just take care of things in this house?" And then the wife just arises too with that feminine emotional power. Yeah, man, what told you? You cannot attack, counter attack. What happens in that kind of case? The marriage starts breaking. The wrong seeds are being planted. Be careful of counter attack. Always be the person calm. If the other person is angry, be the other person calming down. And this is something. This is something that I made a decision with in my relationship, and I said we agreed that there should never be a day where all of us are angry. If I start a fight, be the peaceful person to calm me down. And if you start, I'll be the one to calm me down. Because you are avoiding the situation where two people are on fire. That's when disaster will happen. Those who are married, you can confirm that this has happened in your marriages, or those are in relationships. Is that true? Somebody raised fire from the other side. Boom, you two, you just raise fire from the other side. Fire plus fire equals to what? Disaster. So counter-attack was the third attitude that destroyed relationships, both in the work, this work in the workplace also. Your boss is angry at something, and then you, the employee, you just arise also and disrespectfully attack back your boss. Fire. You see? So be careful of counter-attack. Be careful of counter-attack. Like I said, somebody is asking, what if you walk away? Like I said, when there's counter-attack, what happens? Two things happen. Either there is flight, somebody run away, or the person responds and fight. Flight or fight when there's counter-attack. But walking away never solves things, especially in marriages. Avoid walking out on yours. I don't encourage walking out on the spouse. It's first of all disrespectful. And then second, I would like to ask, if you walk out of somebody you say you love, who else can help that person? There are certain things to me that the way I calculate this love, and the way some people do are like, no, I don't think you are truly in love. I was talking to somebody and they're like, no, the way you behave with your husband, I don't think you truly love this man. The way I understand love cannot do this. She sat quiet. You understand? So the recommendation is, if the man brings attack, the woman avoid counter-attack, even if the man is wrong. Be the peace. Be the peace broker. You understand? You, the man, if your wife raises an attack, avoid counter-attack. Avoid counter-attack. Be the one who brings peace. Yes. So Be the one who is bringing calm. So you guys can make this like a marital ethics, a marital principle, that there should never be a day where the two of you are angry, no matter who is wrong. Because we all have emotions. Anything can happen. But one person, in no matter what, one person can always be conscious. And it's going to reduce, it's going to stop a lot of fight and conflicts in families. Many conflicts exist because when this person raised a fight, the other person raised a fight, and then fire plus fire came together. Now they're looking for a firefighting brigade to come and quench the fire. They're not seeing it. Okay, so be careful of counterattack. And then lastly, stonewalling. Now, stonewalling is, is when people decide to avoid. You decide to avoid your other spouse, right? And stonewalling is when, this is when a relationship, yes, stonewalling. This is when a relationship is disintegrating. For example, you start avoiding to talk with each other because of a conflict. If it is not carefully managed, the relationship can drop. For example, you stop texting as you used to text. You stop relating as you used to relate. Maybe the wife goes on bed, go and just do breakfast and just leave the house without saying a word. Which before that, they used to hug, give a peck, and say, have a nice day. But when they have entered the stonewalling situation, what happens? She will just do but her normal duties because she just wants to be a traditional wife. She'll just do like prepare breakfast, put on the table, never say food on the table. You can come see them. If you don't use your eyes, see them, no use a bit, right? And then she just leave the house like that. Boom. That's how they just, now, that's where it has entered the phase of disintegration. And if that continues for days and for weeks, what's happening? That's how the marriage is dying out. So be careful to identify stonewalling. Be careful to identify stonewalling and begin to take action to stop it. Okay? Stop it. Stonewalling, people abandon the fight. People abandon the quarrel. Somebody start keeping late evenings because they don't want to be around you. Be careful. And in most of these cases, sometimes the other spouse can start looking for amends. The other spouse can start, seeking for forgiveness, saying, I'm sorry, trying to, and then the other person just avoiding you. That's another phase of stonewalling. Okay. So if you allow stonewalling in your relationship because of ego, because of pride, because of unnecessary negative emotions, it is going to cost your marriage or your relationship. The secret in stonewalling is push for more communication, push for more forgiveness, push for more compromise for the sake of the marriage, compromise for the sake of the person you claim you love. There are certain things that you can allow pass under the bridge. Somebody asks for forgiveness, to forgive you, let it go because of the love and the institution of marriage. Same in the workplace. You can let it go for the sake you come in. But the biggest breakthrough when it comes to stonewalling is communication. Push for communication. Push for communication. Push for relating. Push for coming together. This way some spouse who are committed in the relationship or marriage can do, like take you out for a dinner, take you out to your favorite place, to break down the emotions and make you smile. Then they apologize. They just do something that you like to break down that stone wall that you have raised so that things can become better. Okay, so that is it about negative attitudes. So we have seen the 5 E's to conquer negative attitudes and rebuild the right ones. And we have seen the 4 attitudes that kill relationships, marriages, even professional relationships, and what you can do to make sure that you have it back, because these are very important. Life application here is, do you think you need to control your attitudes, right? I'm sure we need to rethink that, right? As I said, it's a continuous battle. As you begin to grow, the good news is that you begin to work on it, you begin to turn negative ones into the right ones, and it makes you a better human being. How have you been controlling your attitude? List 5 new attitudes you will cultivate from now and in the next coming months, right? Before we go to the 19th evening, I want someone to list 2 attitudes that you think they are important for you to develop next year. 2 positive attitudes that you will need to develop to be a better husband, to be a better boyfriend, a better girlfriend, a better how do you call it, wife, a better employee, a better boss, a better chief executive. Just list 2. Which 2 attitudes do you need to develop? Then we look at quickly priorities. Priorities. Now, the key point says, learning to prioritize and make decisions effectively is essential to your success and happiness. Great decisions don't happen by accident. So I want to focus on priorities. In one of our sessions, we have seen the importance of making quality decisions and the process to make quality decisions. Now, I want to focus on priorities. Priorities are very important. Priorities are very, very important. If you don't set priorities, priorities will definitely set you. That's a fact about life. If you don't intentionally have priorities, priorities will choose you. Like, for example, if you don't have priorities that when you wake up in the morning, you need to study a book, pray, and maybe read the Bible. If you don't put those priorities, what will happen? Priorities will select you. Wake up in the morning, go on social media, browse, then go put the TV, watch a movie. Before you know it, the day is over. That's the priorities, but they are wrong ones. So whether you are setting priorities intentionally or not, there's one thing that is constant. Priorities are setting you. You understand? Priorities are setting you. So you need to set priorities. You cannot avoid priorities. And I want to hear this. Purpose without priority is powerless. Your life purpose without priorities, that purpose is powerless. Your career without priority is powerless. You cannot run a successful business without priority. Why? Because your priority determines your destination and your destiny. The kind of priorities that you have determines what? Your destination in life. So setting priorities is important because it enables you to concentrate your energy at the top of the list of your priorities. There's a lot of power that happens when you concentrate your energy and focus on your most important priorities. And when you begin to concentrate your energy, that is when you get into a dimension where you will start getting the most important things done in your life. The secret to getting the most important things done in your life at the right time is priorities. Do you want to get the most important things done in your life? Set priorities. And you cannot effectively prioritize if you are not good at time management. And of course, I always say in real sense, there is nothing like time management. You only manage your activities to feed the clock, because the clock will always be constantly ticking. It is your responsibility to fit your activities to feed the clock. And setting priorities enable you to direct your life. So I wanted to ask the question, how can you be very successful if you don't direct your own life? How can you be successful if you do not direct your own life? The secret to directing your own life is for you to select priorities. The secret to directing your life, the secret to directing your career, the secret to directing your business, the secret to even directing your marriage and your relationship is for you to set priorities in these areas. As they always say, what doesn't get scheduled does not get done. Whatever you don't prioritize, you will never get it done. What you don't schedule, you will never get it done. Okay? So I have worked a lot with successful people in career and business. And one thing that successful people understand is if they don't prioritize their task on a daily basis, if they don't prioritize their task on a weekly basis and on a monthly basis, they will be controlled by the agendas of other people. And that's the truth. When you don't prioritize your tasks, you don't prioritize your days and your weeks and your months, one thing is constant. Somebody will control your agenda. And whoever controls your agenda controls your life. Never face a week without priority for the week. Never face a month, a year without top priorities. That is the best way to control your life and to live a life full of results. And that is why having the sense of constantly evaluating your priorities is important. Okay? Why? Because things change. The more things are changing, the more your life is changing, the more you're meeting new people, the more you're being exposed to new things, your priorities can change. Okay? So constantly evaluating your priorities is important. It's very important. If you move to a new location, you need to evaluate your priorities. When you were single, your priorities were different. If you're planning to get married, you need to shift your priorities. Your business as a startup, there are priorities. When the business is growing, there are priorities. So you need to always reorganize your priorities as circumstances are changing in your life. And that is the best way to successfully carry out your plans and your goals and end up being very successful. So the life application for you today is write down your top priorities for the next 6 months. What are your top 5 priorities for the next 6 months? Are you very good at decision making? Describe the process you go through to make decisions. We saw this already, because there is no way you can be good at priorities if you are not good at making decisions. What are your top priorities? Let me ask us in the community right now. What are your top priorities in the next 3 months? January, February, and March. Anybody who is serious as far as planning for next year is concerned, by now, December, this is mid-December, you should know your top goals or priorities for the first 3 months of the year. Serious people know that. You know exactly your first point of action. You know exactly your first plan of action as you hit next year running. What are your top priorities for January, February, and March? Do you know? What are you focusing on? It's important. That's how successful people take control of their lives. Okay? All right, everybody. That's it for today. I hope you were challenged, you were blessed, and your life will definitely be much, much different. Were you blessed? Were you challenged? Awesome. Good. All right. So thank you for following the session. See you guys tomorrow, same time. Go and practice what you have learned today. See you tomorrow, same time. God bless you.